Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the next project, just a little story. One of my students who came up early in the year brought some walnut up, actually brought some huge chunks of wet wood up. I've left it wrapped up. It was wrapped in multiple layers of saran wrap, and I don't often get wet wood, I don't often get walnut. So this is a chunk of walnut, wet, still soaking wet. I think it was February when the guy came off the class. We did a bit of horse trading, and as I say, I got some wet wood. It's very rare for me to get wet wood. So a really nice project to do would be to be a cowboy hat. I haven't done one up until now because of that very reason. Getting a nice piece of clean wet wood is not easy, especially in Vegas. So here we are. I'm going to turn you a cowboy hat, my way of doing it as usual. The first guy to popularise the cowboy hat was a guy called Johannes Mikkelsen, and another guy, Chris Ramsey. Although wooden hats were made 2,000 years ago, they're not new, but those two guys popularised them. So I'm going to do it my way. These are some examples of earlier hats. That one there was turned for one of my DVDs. It's out of cherry, and it reminds me of the movie Pale Rider, Clint Eastwood, his style of hat. My favourite actor, by the way. So various styles of hats come in all sizes and shapes. You can make baseball caps. There's a guy in England making some really cool whole helmets and cutting out the eyes and everything else, kind of war helmets, that type of deal. Really cool, putting kind of the feathery deal on the top. Looks really neat. I'm just going to show you just a basic cowboy hat. All it is really is an unusual shaped bowl. That's all it is. So you can see there's an example of some of the hats that I have in my collection. We're going to move to this now, the screw chuck. I'm going to mount it on a screw chuck, and I'm going to bring the tailstock up. Okay, I like that extra support. You could mount it between centres. Basically, all we're going to do is turn the outside of the hat, put a tenon on it, turn it around, and hollow it out to the same shape and down to a certain thickness. Okay, so join me in a minute. I'm going to get rid of these, mount the piece of wood, and change the camera angle so you can see exactly what I'm doing. So join me in just a minute. Okay. See you then. Okay, so here we go. We're going to true this up. The tool that I'm not going to use is that tool there, roughing out gouge. That tool is designed to cut squares from square to round, okay, in spindle turning. It says a spindle roughing out gouge, not a general roughing out gouge. That's too big a U. If you get a catch with that, especially on the end grain around here, that's a big catch. It's easier to use the bowl gouge and safer, okay? Now then, I've turned this on. Before you switch the lathe on, you just get the bowl gouge. We're going to do a push cut. I'm using a 1/2 inch diameter bar or a 3/8 flute bowl gouge, okay? In England, we measure the flute. Over here, you measure the bar. So, that bevel wants to be parallel to the cut we're making. We're just going to make small cuts and do a push cut across there. As I said, that's the tool to use. Then we can do most of the outside with this tool that I would not use roughing out gouge. Now then, turn the piece before you switch the lathe on. Make sure none of the corners are going to catch. I've got the speed, I've just turned this on, and I've got the speed up to about 500 until I can true it up. Remember, there's a bit missing there, there's a bit missing there. So I'm going to true it up here, then I'm going to make a cut across, move the tool rest here and make a cut across there, which will take away that bit of wood and that bit of wood and balance the piece up, okay? Then I'm going to start to form the tenon and we'll take it from there. So let's switch this on and get going. Turn that down a little, there we go. That's better. So that's about 550. Take the cut right through. Look how close my little finger is to the tip of the tool. If I was there, I wouldn't have the same support. I want to be right here, and I'm pressing down, because what's happening, I'm cutting and missing, it's wanting to push the tool off. So I'm really pushing down quite firmly with that. I'm going to stop the lathe, move the tool rest a little bit closer. It's cutting nice and cleanly. Alright, look, that's a bit of a pain in the ass, having that split more or less where I'd want the rim to be. So we're going to have to work around that somehow, either cut it out or just accept that's in there. Ideally, that wouldn't be in there, okay? And again, it's right where the rim's going to be. The top of the hat's going to be there, and the rim is going to be here. So just move that a touch closer, take another small cut until we get this trued up. I might even be able to get the speed a little faster now. Yeah, I've eased it up another 100, so it's now 650. I've got a reputation for turning fast. However, I only turn fast when it's necessary, and I still exercise caution. I'm not going to hurt myself over a piece of wood. All I want to do is get this round, especially where the rim is. The rest of it we're going to take away anyway. It seems to be pretty round there. I'm going to just give it one more cut. Okay, I'm amazed at how wet this is. Yeah, a little bit more there. I've had it since February. We've had a couple of weeks now of over 100 degrees, very little humidity. It was really well wrapped in saran wrap, several covers of heavy duty, and that's kept it wet. I'm absolutely amazed. So, a little bit more there, and then I'm going to move the tool rest here, and we're going to start to take those corners off to start and balance it up. It's going to be a pretty hat, this. There's some nice grain in there. Follow it all the way through, past the bark. Then you know you're right to the very edge of it. Okay, let's stop that. That's clean now. That's clean, that's clean. Okay, so we're going to move the tool rest to here. Going to do a draw cut. That was a push cut. The bevel was parallel to the cut that I was making, and I was concentrating on not only holding the tool down that way, but also keeping the bevel in contact with the wood. If I was cutting with the tip of the tool, just dragging a point across there, I would get lines in the surface like a record player. If this bevel is in exactly the right position, you will get a super smooth surface there. If you don't get one, the bevel's not in the right position. Change the position of the bevel, okay? So, that's, yeah, see, that would have caught on there. It would have knocked the bark off, giving you a bit of a shock. A little bit more, there you go. Always worth doing this, always worth doing. Especially on unbalanced larger pieces of wood. I'm going to drop the tool rest just a fraction. It changes slightly for the draw cut. And there we go. Just put that on there. And tip of the tool, a lot of people would start here. If you start there, you're going to cut with the tip of the tool. Let me just put a better light on that. There you go. You're going to cut with the tip of the tool, and then this wing's going to catch on that surface there. So start at the periphery. The tool, the flute is about 45 degrees, tip of the tool. I'm not using the middle of the wing, tip of the tool, nice little draw cuts there. You're in control, it'll only do what you make it do. Take smaller cuts. There we go, good. Tip of the tool, nice shear cut. If you were concerned about the bark flying off, have a look before you start turning. See if you can peel any of it off. It's a little bit unnerving if a big lump comes off and hits you in the chest. Although, the position I am, my head's over here, and if anything did come off there, it would hit me here, it wouldn't hit me in the face. If you were unsure, wear a visor. So, a little bit more. That's starting to bounce up now. Keep the tool rest closer to the piece of wood. Don't have too much of an overhang. That makes a difference. One more. Let's stop that and have a look. Ah, good, 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 good. So, that's balanced that all up. What we're going to do now is move the tool rest to here, and I'm going to adjust this light down to here somewhere. I'm going to set up, come back, and I'm going to start to plane the surface. I want you to see the cut I'm making.